What's up, Zox fam? So we are getting into Niconana Inferno post nerf, right? Now, with this, we're going to be getting into not only this, but a couple other things. Now, I want to dive right into this. I'll show you guys the layout and the team comp. We were actually trying to do this on stream just because I wanted to show you guys, you know, like how much farther we need it to go. And with the nerf being implemented, how much it's going to actually allow you to be able to do at this point. So what we're going to do here, we're going to actually put in the boy Obel. And I know that that's kind of been one of the things with a lot of these teams, doing things with a solo unit or it needing to be a pair. So usually if you're going Obel, it's like you got to have a Fangus paired up with him with a Shadow Sania. No, Obel can actually solo DPS this now, right? And he was basically able to do it yesterday. I actually did do it yesterday with him. The only thing we needed was an extra artisan, but I actually don't think we need that now, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys the gear and stuff after the run, but this is a really safe team. Again, it's just emphasizing for what it's worth, some of the things that I lack. I'll show you guys all my speeds and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is that, like, I even went as far as trying this with Yang on Revelation. For those of you guys that were there yesterday on the stream, if you know, you know. But with how this is set up, it's basically ensuring that the sustain is always going to be there, so the team just survives, and it's just going to allow able opportunity and time for Obel to be able to do his thing. Now, again, Obel can be alternated out with Fangus, right? They can be individually used now to be able to do the job respectively. And unfortunately, I just don't have Fangus built, but he can actually do it. He actually dots more than Obel does. The one thing I will say that Obel presents here that's a little bit better is the fact that he can actually CC the two ads on the side. So it just gives you more able opportunity to like prevent stuns, just dealing with the overall scaling of the fight. And because they reduced this by, what was it, 20%, I think, on the attack, 15% on the HP, and 10% of the speed. 10% of speed does give you a good chunk of opportunity to be able to kind of cut and be able to get extra hits in. Now, I will say with this setup, there are obviously skill requirements. Ling Lo being the only 6-star and SSR on this team. She doesn't even have lattice in her. So I will also say, like, even just for accessibility purposes, this team is pretty accessible, right? But as you can see, we're already at that halfway mark. And we're at this point now just kind of waiting on, really you're just waiting on Obel to do more dots and get his skill 3 back up. Sometimes he'll occasionally land the dot on the skill 1, which is nice. And even in some cases, he'll be able to convert, which when that lands, that just makes it even faster. So, all right, there we go for another strip. That's always nice. Ling Lo for the heal. Get that defense break off of me. All right, oh, nice. Actually got the pushback there. We got nothing there. Resisted. So you're going to have some turns like that, which is perfectly okay. And now I would say on average, like as far as like normally like post or pre-nerf, like I could get to about the yellow buff being about probably 9, 10 before like I'm really starting to worry. But like at that point, even if you're like fully covered with artisans, I will say like if you are still struggling, double artisan is like insane. Double artisan is definitely going to be the way to go. And you could easily put that artisan on like the Obel. Or sorry, not just the Obel, but you can put it on the Viper, right? So I have Viper right now on Lighthouse. That's just because I like the turn meter push that he gets from that. But it's not required for him to be on Lighthouse. I would say it would probably be a little bit more efficient to have him on Artisan for more free-to-play setups. All right, there we go. Got our heal off. And we rotate into another skill 3 with the boy Kachi. All right, so we're almost at the tail end here. And again, it's slow, but hey, it's gonna get you to clear. And I know like some people like probably are wondering like, Zox, you got Lily, you got Yelly, you got all these units, like why don't you use them? I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't actually use those units until I clear stuff for the very first time with a free-to-play comp. Like, and it's just so that I can help you guys out. That's really what it is. This is the reason why I 6-starred Obero. This is the reason why I 6-starred RC77. not really for my own progression, but just to kind of help you guys out with maybe like, okay, you didn't get some of those light darks, but what can you use to be able to progress, right? All right, so here we go. We're at the tail end here. We got a dot there. Would have been nice if we got more, but they said, nah, fam, you good. Yeah, we'll have to hold out for another turn. But yeah, as you can see, one artisan, and it's reliable too. It's pretty consistent. Like when I run this now, I can have it on, when I try to run it out of 8, I'm about 7, sometimes 6 out of 8, which is pretty good ratio. Because again, it's not fast. So like, you know, yeah, if I'm doing this at 10, that means I did something a little different. See, that should tell you something, right? But there we go. I think that should be almost enough dots, right? Yeah, there we go. And so now we can actually finish this. That's GG. All right, boom. All right, cool. So 5-minute run, but you get the clear, right? So that's the most important thing. Now, again, that slot can be alternated with any character, right? So like, okay, we don't want to go oval. Let's go ahead and let's slot in somebody else. So those of you guys that have like the Ting, for example, you could slot in the Ting in that slot. There's so many different options for that specific slot, right? So if you don't have the Ting, you can go, you know, if you got Yelly, you can put Yelly in that slot. Again, I will say you probably need to 6-star him, but Yan can low-key actually do it, which is kind of weird. With him on Revelations, he actually does a pretty good amount of damage, which I showed people in stream yesterday. But yeah, you got options. So hold on, before we get into anything else though, let me show you guys the gear, because I want to make sure before I go around, you know, go and swap and stuff, you guys see what everything looks like. So we're gonna start with Linglo. Linglo right now 144 on the speed. I will say that like that's probably my fastest right now, my fastest gear. So that puts her at like 267, which in reality is not as fast as some people think. There's people running around with like almost 300 speeds. Again, when you look at the gear, I'm even using an epic piece, an outstanding piece on her for defense bonus, HP flat. I just wanted this extra 11 speed roll, you know, defense bonus here. We have her on speed and a little bit of time weave. Really not so much really for that. I mean, it's really just the speed. It just so happened that she ended up having this time weave on. I would say like you could easily alternate that out, go Wellspring or Cure, whatever it is that you want to go for. But I'm just running her on Swift Rush, right? Now, of course, with that, and again, let me just highlight those real quick. This is not even like tuned crazy, right? Defense bonus, and you could do like easily a HP percent. But like I said, I went with this piece just because of that speed, so I did not care. I just wanted her to rotate a little bit more. On the shell, we are going with an artisan with a shadow dash at 18, crystal wall 13%, and the final damage dealt 3%. It just never bothered rolling those, and we aren't going to touch them, right? So that's that. Now again, lattice investment 0. Okay, no lattice into Linglo. It's like almost not required for you to do any of the Infernos with her. I would say if I was to give a recommendation on what I would skill up first, it would probably be the skill 1, so that you can get more well prayers. So that well prayer, I think, is like the duration of that is like pretty nasty. That's something that really can help you out with like purification, stuns, cleanses, stuff like that. So really big set there. Now, for the rest of the team, let's go to the Viper. Okay, these are now from here all 5-star characters. Viper 5-star, skill 3 and skill 2 are completely maxed. I think that is required, to be honest. Get that cooldown load lowered as much as possible. Dispelling buffs, huge to have that at 2. And then the counterattack chance and the damage reduction that comes from this when you're getting crit, really good, right? So I definitely would recommend the more investment you have in that, the smoother that Viper works for you, right? For Viper's build, again, we're using some outstanding pieces. Some pieces from Hell 3, Hell 4, Hell 2. I think some of the outstanding pieces might be Hell 1. Really just emphasizing the whatchamacallit, the Swift Rush, right? So extra 97 speed, effect accuracy, effect accuracy, effect accuracy, and just working with I got, right? We got him even on some +9 pieces right now, right? So the units, they work, right? Like they can absolutely work. Now, of course, with the Obero, biggest thing with him, oh, and hold on, let me just talk about his shell. Sorry. Shell, 7 on the Shadow Dash, Crystallization, 80 flat defense, and Reason, right? Like, these are not crazy. We have him on Lighthouse, though, and it would be for the Strive, but I needed more effect accuracy on him, so I had to take the Strive piece off that I was using, so it is what it is. We'll get that back on him and tweaked and worked out. But if you don't have Lighthouse, Artisan works perfectly fine. Okay. Now with that, okay, we have Obero. Sorry, Obero. Obel. Obel. All right. So Obel's investment. Is there a ton of investment? Maxed out skills? No, only to level 3. I only cared about getting the extra dot chance. If you want to get the extra chance of stunning, then that can help you with the 2 ads on the side. But is it required? Nah, not really. Right. Again, if you're looking at the skill 2 would be nice because then that would increase the number of convertible buffs that you could basically turn into dot. That would actually allow him to work a little bit more seamlessly. But is that required? No, you don't have to do that right away, right? Same thing with the skill 1, that just increases the chance of you dotting and the duration of the dot. Would you, if having that, would that be nice? Yes. Is it required? No, right? I mean, again, if you can get it, great. If not, don't worry about it. You can still operate with him minimum having just that increased chance on the skill 3 for the dot. And then as far as the shell goes, I'm running him on Gigabyte because I want to rotate him quicker so you can get his turns. A couple of different things you could do to alternate that, right? Or to filter that. Running him on Time Weave, right? That's one thing that can help out with skill cooldowns. Attack here, speed 14 on Shadow Dash, and final damage taken reduced by 3%. Again, only like red roll or mythic roll we have is on, I think, Ling Lo's pet, right? That's literally that, right? And then I think that actually covers those guys. And then the last one we have is actually Kachi the Guard. Where's Kachi at? I feel like I always pass him. There he is. All right, so Kachi the Guard. Let's talk about Kachi the Guard's stats. Skill 3 is a must. I definitely think that definitely helps you out a ton. Going skill 2 for this specific fight does help a lot because it increases your chances of landing the speed down. Also, being able to use this more often just means you get more pushback consistently. So skill 2, I think, is definitely something that is worth considering investing in at some point. And then, of course, with the skill 1, 20% down on the crit rate is actually kind of nice. But again, for the post nerf, is it required? No, not really. I mean, he'll land it occasionally, but honestly, just him being able to do a skill 3 and a skill 2 is just more than enough. When we look at the modules, okay, Swift Rush, this is all Doki, right? I was running him on a Bulwark because and I actually probably am going to put him back on Bulwark because usually he's the first target in the fight, but again, I needed more effect accuracy. And so what I went for, 60% effect accuracy on all 3 of these pieces. Well, this one's not fully leveled, but still, you get the general gist. He's at 200 effect accuracy. So is Obel. Now, the reason why I went for 200 is that's actually the requirement to land a lot of your stuff. Now, for him to do his pushback, like the actual proccing of his skill 3 is like 187 is required. But for him to be able to consistently push back, being able to have those more optimal chances, 200 is the sweet spot. And we kind of tested that on stream yesterday, like 200 even for the Obel is kind of the sweet spot. Anything less than that is just going to be super inconsistent. Can it still work? Yeah, absolutely. But that 200 effect accuracy just feels really, really good for the character. Again, speed 109. So we're not really going too crazy on like crazy fast units because we're making up for that with the Gigabyte, right? So Gigabyte has the surge, 30% HP, 7 on the speed, and this is roll for constant, right? So that's what we're running, right? Now, again, like I said, the Obel can literally be alternated out for basically anybody, which is kind of like the beauty of where things are now. So again, 5-star Kachi, 5-star Viper, and then 5-star what's his name, Obel, right? Now again, if you have things at higher rarities, if you have a setup, like for example, I'll show you guys now, right? So you can run different setups with like 1 DPS, right? So let's actually go back. And let's go into the challenge here, right? So if you have those Datings, I know like the biggest thing is like, you know, you need the Lily, like take out, keep Viper, we'll take Oboe out, let's go Dating, right? So same thing, right? We're basically like, and mind you, my Oboe doesn't have like a ton of defensive stats or anything like that to keep him alive. So it's gonna be the same scenario for Dating right now. But again, if you're able to do it with Oboe, you could do it with Dating now, you know, solo, right? So this again is just to kind of show you like what your options kind of look like. Because I know sometimes you'll hear us say like, oh, you could just use that character. And then it's like, but can I really though? Right? And so yeah, the same setup, just swap into Ting, and now we got a whole nother unit going. Now granted, if you're using the Ting, I will say he is like really solid for damage, but this is also to show you before running solo the Ting was kind of but now he actually can do some respective damage to Niconana in Inferno. So he always was able to do Hell really well, but his damage kind of felt subpar when you're trying to do things like Inferno. Unless you were running him in like a setup where you're able to like really amp him and do stuff like that. But you can already see it's already quicker, right? Same thing with the artisan coverage. We're kind of chilling, and I'll show you my Dating stuff after as well. And I don't even think I actually really put any like intentional thought in his gear. I'm not gonna lie. Like I move stuff around so much, but I'll still show you what he got on. It still should be good ratios on this stuff. And because the HP is lowered, he's going to be marking pretty consistently. Good strip there coming from Viper. All right. And then here we go. Boom, boom, another strip. And that crit down is like nasty when he's able to land that. So yeah, this even just not even having an amper is kind of insane. So yeah, Inferno should be a lot easier. And I won't say it's gonna be super easy because it's still like getting there. You know, you still got to get there, but it's more manageable. Like I said, Niconana gives you a little bit more of a window for you to be able to do some damage with that 10% reduction. You having less HP on her too. 15% might not seem like a lot, but that actually is quite a bit of HP that they've taken off of this boss. And then 20% reduction on the attack just helps out with the overall scaling. So really, the one way you're getting one shot is if you're not stripping her, right? All right, so yeah, I mean, this is just like kind of how it is too. Let's see. Boom. How are you gonna stun my boy right before he gets to go? I think he has a well prayer, but still. Thank you. And thank you. All right, we'll make it. We're gonna spin the block. We're gonna spin the block. All right, so Viper for the strip. Thank you, sir. And we get to skill 3 here. That's the only nice thing about, like, even if you do get stunned, it's just like, hey, you stunned me, but I still get my turn, right? So yeah, really the main thing is, and what I really want to focus on, or at least if you leave with anything from this video, is that extra sustain, right? The sustain now is really the play here for most comps, especially if you don't have certain things to speed clear, right? Like I know a lot of people are using dot for stuff, but hey, if you got that sustain, bro, that can help you out, and at least being able to start farming Niconana is going to be good for you to start building into some of those in-game sets as well. You know, drops, I mean, that's a whole other thing, but again, when you get some of those drops, they do astronomically change your progression too. All right, so let's see here. Boom. We got our good old-fashioned Hilly right there, and then that should be a GG. There you go. Right? So that's about a minute shorter. Like, so again, like you can slot in these other units. Now, granted, my Dating is 6 stars, so I will say, like most DPS, like him, for example, I would say you probably would want at 6 star. I mean, I think that's kind of fair. But just even in terms of my gear right now, I have him at 252 on, 2,500 extra attack. We're running him on right now a Kenai. This is not even a full Fury, so yeah, there's that. So really, that Fury could be ran with anything. We got him on an outstanding piece. We got him attack, crit damage, and crit rate. And yeah, like these are pieces you can literally get from Hell 2, 3, and 4, right? So again, if you're at this point, yeah, you should be able to have a little bit of an easier time doing Niconana, right? Now again, his shell, White Fang, not even synergized right now, and I do apologize because I am moving around a lot of stuff, but attack percent, crit damage, and then we have the final damage dealt. So we got some, some decent stuff there. But yeah, 5 out of 5 on all his skills. I will say with the team, that's a character I personally feel like if you're going to build him, you go all the way. That's just how you get the most value from him. But I've also had him on my account for a while now. So yeah, there's kind of that. But yeah, that's going to be basically that for Niconana. So that's basically going to be that with this one, guys. Again, we're going to have some more videos get into some of the other dungeons. We're actually probably going to live stream that as well. So definitely make sure you guys come through to the stream, twitch.tv/Zoxaskun. We're going to be streaming, right? So that's going to be that with this one, guys. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.